Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. City News Everywhere reports that British Columbia's Minister of Economic Growth, Ravi Kahlon, has issued a stark warning regarding the wider economic implications of the American war with Iran. Kahlon states that beyond the immediate impact on gas prices, the conflict poses a significant threat to the supply of essential goods such as fertilizer and pharmaceutical ingredients. He highlighted that approximately 40% of the fertilizer required by farmers originates from the Middle East region, as do critical raw materials for many prescription medications. While the federal government has moved to temporarily suspend some fuel taxes, Kahlon suggested that these measures might be negated by escalating tensions. Premier David Eby and Minister Kahlon have established a cross-government task force to closely monitor the war's effects and help prepare BC residents for potential global disruptions across the full spectrum of challenges, including fuel, medicine, food, and overall supply chain adaptability. This report was first published by the Canadian Press on April 14, 2026. Global News reports that Alberta will not consider matching the federal government's temporary suspension of the fuel excise tax until at least June. Ottawa announced it would pause the federal fuel tax from April 20 to September 7 as a summer affordability measure, aiming to reduce gasoline costs by 0.0 cracks, primarily due to the ongoing U.S.-Iran conflict impacting oil shipments. However, Alberta's Finance Minister Nate Horner stated on Tuesday that the province would adhere to its existing quarterly fuel tax relief program. Under this system, reductions are implemented based on West Texas Intermediate (WTI) crude oil averaging at least $80 per barrel over a specific review period. The next review for Alberta's fuel tax is slated for the 20 trading days before June 16th, with any resulting adjustments taking effect on July dollars. Horner emphasized that this quarterly review provides stability and predictability, arguing that altering the timing would undermine the program's defensibility. Currently, the average Canadian gas price is $1.73 per liter. The opposition NDP has criticized Alberta's stance, highlighting that the province's 13-cent per liter fuel tax costs the average family over $300 actually annually, and that an immediate pause would offer swift relief to consumers and businesses, including truckers. The Canadian Press reports that Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith's government is advancing plans for an accelerated review system for major industrial projects valued at over $250 million. Energy Minister Brian Jean introduced the bill, emphasizing the need to cut through existing regulatory hurdles, which he described as cumbersome and riddled with roadblocks and unnecessary delays, deterring significant investment. Under the proposed system, initial project proposals would be reviewed by cabinet members to help private industry refine their applications. Following this, a committee of civil servants would conduct further assessments. Crucially, cabinet would then issue an order initiating a strict 4-month timeline for provincial regulatory bodies, such as the Alberta Energy Regulator, to complete their assessments and issue permits. Jean clarified that this accelerated timeline does not guarantee project approval. Regulators retain the authority to deny permits if necessary, and Alberta's duty to consult with First Nations remains undiminished. He justified the fast-tracking by pointing to quicker approval times in other jurisdictions, like the United States, as a competitive benchmark. The new system is expected to be implemented before the end of the year, although it would only apply to provincial approvals, with federal processes operating on their own, often slower, timelines. At a solemn ceremony held at Queen's Park to mark Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, leaders from all four elected parties in Ontario united to speak out against the alarming rise of anti-Semitism in the province. CTV News reports that NDP leader Marit Stiles highlighted the ongoing responsibility to confront this crisis, stating, "Never again is a demand, but it is also a responsibility that we carry every single day." Premier Doug Ford condemned recent violent incidents, including multiple shooting attacks on GTA synagogues, emphasizing that such acts are beyond anti-Semitism and call for unity. Green Party leader Mike Schreiner expressed his pain over the necessity of police protection for Jewish facilities, advocating for peace-building across differences, urging, "If we can't build peace in Ontario, where can we build peace?" Holocaust survivor Renate Krakauer shared her distress over the resurgence of anti-Semitism in Canada, a country her family sought refuge in. Solicitor General Michael Kersner also spoke, highlighting the personal impact of the Holocaust on his family and stressing the real threat of anti-Semitism today. The event underscored a collective commitment to combat hatred through remembrance, education, and unity. CTV News has obtained documents revealing that a controversial Ontario government fund rejected a program designed to help 21 high school graduates learn skilled trades at the Toronto Transit Commission, TTC. The rejection was conveyed through a standard boilerplate letter, providing minimal explanation for the decision. This lack of transparency has raised concerns, particularly given the program's aim to address youth unemployment and skills gaps within the transit system. The Ontario Fund, which has faced scrutiny for its allocation processes, declined an initiative that could have provided valuable career pathways for young individuals and contributed to the essential workforce of the TTC. The decision underscores ongoing questions about the provincial government's priorities and the accountability of its funding mechanisms. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.